Hey everybody, welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel. My name is Greg Sykes. If you're new here, thank you for stumbling across this channel. We try to put out video content on a daily basis throughout the week. And if you're a supporter here, thank you for your support. Thank you for all your subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, hopefully today is the day that you subscribe, whether if you are on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, wherever you may be. I just thank you so much for tuning in to each and every one of these videos. Speaking of videos, today we are talking about Carson Wentz. Now, it looks like Carson Wentz, he is back, my friends. Carson Wentz has been designated to return to practice this week, which means it's likely that he backs up Taylor Heinicke, although we have heard reports possibly that that is not the case, that he'll be the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart for this weekend. So it remains to be seen, but definitely Carson Wentz is going to be back practicing for the Washington Commanders this week. Wentz last played in a Thursday night win over the Chicago Bears where he injured his hand, but he was able to finish that game. That was also a game where he had that tremendous block. I mean, it was a great block, man. But since that point, he has been out. Given way to Taylor Heinicke, man. Now, Taylor Heinicke has came in, and Taylor Heinicke, he's led the team to a 4-1 record with him at the helm and helping Heinicke to secure the starting quarterback position for not just while Carson Wentz has been out hurt, but for the remainder of the season. Now, assuming that Taylor Heinicke doesn't lose his job for any reason, injuries or whatnot, what does this mean for Carson Wentz for next season? We know what immediately this means for Carson Wentz and for the Washington Commanders. It means they don't give up a second rounder to the Indianapolis Colts, since Wentz will not have played 70% of his snaps. And again, this is assuming that Taylor Heinicke stays in there and plays and finishes the season with the Commanders. Now, what does this mean for next season? Well, there could be a possibility that Washington exercises an out in Carson's contract. And this savings could possibly affect possibly re-signing, desperately who we need to re-sign would be Daron Payne. Daron Payne definitely needs to be re-signed. He's having a Pro Bowl season, and some would probably argue an All-Pro season. Payne will be a free agent next season, and he is a must re-sign for the Washington Commanders. Payne, he has been dominating this year, and we have got to keep that defensive line intact. Of course, we drafted Phidarian Mathis this year, and a lot of us felt that Mathis was going to be the one to, of course, replace Daron Payne. But Mathis, of course, ended his season really early with a season-ending injury. Thus, basically, we've relied on Daron Payne, and he has not disappointed us one bit, folks. Daron Payne has really, he's just had a heck of a season, along with John Allen and Montez Sweat and all of those guys. So here we are. We don't know what's going to happen with Mathis next year. He's still going to be an unknown commodity in year 2. So re-signing Payne becomes very important. And because of that means that with Carson Wentz, we just don't know. I just feel like you have to cut him loose. Now, there's no guarantees that he is going to be cut loose. But I would definitely say that if you are going to keep Carson, you're going to have to restructure his contract, because you are definitely going to need to free up some money for Daron Payne. That's all it is to it. You don't want to keep Carson around if that means having to get rid of Daron Payne. That is just the nuts and bolts of the whole thing, in my opinion. So, folks, I mean, what do you think there? Certainly, I think that you have got to look at Daron Payne, and you got to say, at all cost, we need to re-sign Daron Payne. Because, down the road, we're going to have to look at guys like Montez Sweat, I think, is coming up soon as well. You're going to have to look at Chase Young at some point. And so you want to keep that defensive line intact. Now, if we do lose Daron Payne, yes, you can say, well, that's the reason why that we drafted Phidarian Mathis. And I agree, but right now, like I said, he's an unknown commodity. We just don't know what we're going to get with Mathis. What if Mathis turns out to be injury prone, right? I mean, we don't know. Maybe Mathis turns out to be better than Daron Payne. I doubt it. I kind of doubt it there, but definitely I think it is a must. We need to re-sign Daron Payne. I think you cut Carson loose. I think you do. I think you got Sam Howell, who needs to continue to be that second stringer there. I think he competes for the starting job next season. Folks, it's going to get interesting, but guess what? Let's not even talk about the offseason just yet. Let's talk about the fact that all the talking heads right now are looking at the Washington Commanders as being playoff contenders. And so right now, as long as that we're looking at this season still being alive for the playoffs, we're going to hold off on all of that off-season talk until that last game of the season, which we hope is the Super Bowl, right? Folks, take care. Again, please subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, support this channel, hit the thanks button, whatever you can do. I really appreciate it. See you in the next one. Hey, you stayed until the very end. Thank you so much. Watch another one right now.